So Zhang Jie asks, Shifu, earlier you talked about seeing how things really are. Take human relationship, for example. I've been thinking that in this samsaric world, other humans may also be deluded with greed and hatred, etc. Things are impermanent and conditioned arising. So what does reality or things really are mean? Is there an objective truth out there? Yesterday during class, I happened to touch a bit on this, about how when we say to see things as they are, to see ultimate reality, the context is that there was this thing about or maybe was it on Monday, huh? But it was basically that there was this thing about, oh yeah, I think I can't I can mix up too many all the different classes. So anyway, there was this thing about condition or conventional truth, or no, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, right? I was mentioning about how ultimate reality is not something out there actually. Ultimate reality is reality. Yeah. It's not that we are seeing something else that is not there, or that is out there. Ultimate reality is the actual reality. Yeah. It's just that we don't see it. We only see our fabricated reality. We see our perception reality. So we don't see the reality. So because of that distinction, the actual reality is not seen. And it seems like we have our own reality. So we call the actual reality ultimate reality. Yeah, because our realities that we perceive can change and we can see more and more and more, but this is it. There's no more reality behind the reality. So what does reality or things really, to see things as they really are, mean? So it's basically that this is how it is in reality. Yeah. Is there an objective truth out there? So this question is interesting. On one hand, we can say that, I think we can simply put, for all intents and purposes, for us at this point in time, we can say that there's an objective truth out there, and it is what the ultimate reality is, or reality itself is. But when we say objective truth, then there's an issue here when we talk about emptiness. Yeah, because then because objective truth also has another connotation, which is like we say, for example, objectively that is a man. Yeah, but so in terms of emptiness, we say there's no objective man, so to speak. The so-called man or woman is always conditional. Being conditional is not really objective. You understand? So, but yet on the other hand, the two can also be in line. So, for example, objectively, the wall surrounding you in the room which you are in is hard. Yeah. Right? Objectively, it's hard, right? Anybody who disagree? Come on, I want to see some hands. If you think it's not hard, you think it's relatively hard. You think if it's not objectively hard, go and knock your head against the wall, see whether it's hard or not. But still, actually, it's relatively hard. Yeah, conditionally hard. It's not objectively hard. It's objectively hard with relation to human beings. Yeah. Yeah, it's objectively hard relative to humans. Yeah, so in the ultimate truth, the wall is not by itself hard. Yeah, it's not inherently hard also. But because so far human beings at this point in time, I don't know about future human beings. Will human beings in future become harder than the concrete that we know of? I don't know. Yeah. In which case, if there comes a day where our rebirth fruition body, yeah, is harder than concrete, then at that point in time, human beings will say, concrete is objectively soft. And then I was going to say, they may say, how many kappas ago there was a monk who used this example, and now that is no longer true. Yeah, that is not objectively hard. Then I thought, you think what you said is going to be recorded and then known how many kappas yeah. So, but you notice that when you look at it that way, or when you consider it, it makes sense, right? That the wall is objectively hard relative to human, right? But then you notice that when you see it this way, or you consider it this way, then life becomes a bit complicated, right? And perhaps a bit too complicated for most of most of us to function so-called properly. Yeah, or so-called properly. So because then it may put the question, so is killing objectively evil or objectively bad? Then then does it mean that you have to go and figure out all this and find out what is the objective truth, yeah, the ultimate reality before you observe precepts? But then you need to observe precepts, meditate, and then you can cultivate wisdom, then you can attain enlightenment. But in order to do that, you need to, so it becomes a catch-22. You need A to get B, you need B to get A. Yeah, cannot. Yeah, so you got to start somewhere. So you just start off with conventional truth first. Okay, concrete is hard. Don't go and knock your head there. Killing produce results. Yeah, killing is harmful, is unwholesome. Just use that first. Yeah, the later one, go and figure out later. Oh. Yes. I don't know whether I think we have a new friend. Shi Yun. Hello, Shi Yun. How did you get to know about this class?
From Marcel.
From Marcel. I see. And then how do you know Marcel? Don't you? Oh, was it from some class that then?
Yes.
Was it the Monday class?
It was previous from the Saturday class.
Saturday class. Saturday class. How was on Saturday? The Heart Sutra.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see. You attended the Heart Sutra class?
Yeah.
You seldom turn on your webcam, is it?
There are times where I didn't turn on.
No wonder. I was like, how come if you attend Heart Sutra, how come I don't find you that
familiar?
Yeah, see, that's why. Well, welcome to the morning sitting.
Thank you, Shifu.
So Phyllis asks, Shifu, is ultimate reality same as ultimate truth equals to objective truth? For simplicity, we can say yes lah. We can say that it's the same. Okay, ultimate reality is equals to ultimate truth equals to objective truth. Yeah. But as I said, there are those subtle connotations that becomes a bit trickier. Yeah, because in our normal conventional speech, right? When we say that something is objective, then it is usually about how it is like that apart from our perception, apart from other factors and conditions. Yeah. So we say that, oh, the person is irritating. So then we say, no, that's your perception. So the question is there any objective irritatingness out there? Huh? So in Buddhism, we say there is irritatingness. There was an irritating person. There can be an irritating person. But the irritating person is not objectively existing. It's subjectively existing. It is conditionally existing. Yeah. Due to various conditions, then that person come to exist. That irritating quality come to exist. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it is we are the only condition. Yeah. It's just that if you perceive the irritatingness, we must be part of the condition. Yeah. But there are many other conditions resulting in it. Most importantly, with all these conditions coming to be, then that thing exists, without which that irritatingness don't exist. And within all the different factors, if you can find any independent, inherent irritatingness, yeah, then by itself, then that is the inherent irritatingness. Yeah. But if you go and examine each of them, is there any of them that is by itself irritating? Yeah. The conditions themselves. So in all likelihood, you cannot find. But Shifu, what if I find? If you find that there's that one thing that is irritating, that has inherent irritatingness, then you go and examine that itself. You think that is inherently irritating, go and examine that. Will that continue to be irritating persistently? Was that always irritating since beginningless time? Before you perceive it, was it irritating? 5 hours later, is it still irritating? When you're shitting, do you find it irritating? I always like to use shitting. Yeah. Huh? When you're sleeping, do you find it irritating? Eh? When you're sleeping, you don't find anything irritating because you have no consciousness. Without consciousness, nothing is irritating. Oh, gone. Bye-bye. Yeah, so if there's nothing inside that is inherently irritating, so then we say, then the resultant irritatingness that actually doesn't have any essence that as its basis. So the irritatingness is insubstantial, has no basis, has no core, has no essence. And so we say it's empty in nature. Yeah. But we don't say that there's no irritatingness. How can, Shifu? Huh? How can we say that? The person really irritating. Can. Yeah. But this is the in a way you can say this is the progression slowly. But at the initial stage, even though we listen to the teaching on emptiness, on no self, we reflect, we contemplate. But the moment we open our eyes, we see a person irritating. Why? Because maybe it's not just this life. Maybe for many lives we have the conditioning. Yeah. And sometimes it's one-sided, sometimes it's mutual. Sometimes maybe it's one-sided. In what way? The person find you so interesting. You find that person so irritating. Huh? Yeah. Or you find that person so interesting, but the person found you so repulsive. Or maybe you find each other repulsive. Or you find each other interesting. Yeah. But Sometimes it's this life, sometimes it's over many lives. In all likelihood, seldom just one life, seldom. Yeah, rarely will we find just one life. Yeah, even if it's so-called initiated from this life, there must be some other precursor condition. Otherwise, it means that there's something that just started by itself. Oh. So then, what was I trying to say? Sometimes I speak it. There's one crucial part. Hang on. So even the so we may find that it is, despite all the contemplation, it's not easy for us to see that the person is empty of irritatingness. Yeah. So as a result, then how? We cannot use this teaching. Cannot use no self, we cannot use emptiness. Then how? Then we should consider if indeed that person is of an irritating nature, yeah, then we shouldn't be upset with the person for being irritating, because that's his nature, that's her nature. To be angry with such a person is like being angry with fire for being hot, ice for being cold, Singapore weather for being hot. Or cold, and or wet. Singapore weather, what you want is like that. Yeah. I first thought of this when I was at Pumingsi teaching Heart Sutra, maybe in 2010 or 11. Yeah. Because there were some students who were like, no, but the person is very. I thought, okay lah, fine lah. If the person is truly like that, then why you stay upset? Yeah. But this teaching actually is found inside the Ru Pusa Singlut, in the Bodhicharya Vatara Sastra commentary. Yeah. So for those who can use emptiness, use emptiness. Who cannot use emptiness, then make use of your delusion to help yourself. Yeah. You have a delusion that the person is truly inherently like that, then you should not be surprised the person is irritating. But we flip it around. That's one interesting part that most of the time we miss out. If you find a person so attractive, so interesting, then you should not be super attracted to that also. Why? Because if you think that the person is inherently attractive and then what's so interesting about that? But you see, this part is this part is harder than the part that is irritating. For us to then accept the person is irritating and not be repulsed by it, that's not so difficult, because you consider it's like that lah. You know, it's like what people always say. You know he's you know his character is like that. Well, why you still get upset with him? Basically that. But not so common for us to use it the other way around, where we have strong attachment, we have strong liking, yeah, towards someone because we think the person is very nice, very kind, very good, and so on. Yeah. You go and consider this part. This part not so easy. Yeah, because this part, the more you think the person is inherently good, somehow we just 一头栽进去, one hit go inside. Yeah, not so easy. Yeah. Danny, raise your hand. Kichu, bye.
Kichu, Shifu.
Yes.
Okay. I think like irritation and attraction can throw some Buddhist antidote to it. Then after that, maybe it fades away, at least intellectually. What I find hardest is the physical pain. So earlier this year, in general, I had a tooth op, and then I think the body doesn't react too well to the op. So I had 3 weeks of bad toothache that shoot to the head and then to the neck, and then it was pretty bad. So whatever antidote I throw at it, no pain is all in the mind, and emptiness. Oh, I also no use. Suffer for 3 weeks. So I find the physical pain, if it's sustained, is caused by the body, then it affect the mind, and then it's sustained one. Panadol, no much use one. Oh, the one very
hard to overcome.
I don't know how to do.
Yeah. So this part here, I want to raise 2 points very quickly, then we wrap up. The first point is there was an occasion where the Buddha actually asked, I think he asked either Venerables Ananda or Venerable Sariputra to recite some verses. And as he listened to those verses, his discomfort subsided. Yeah. So this is one case, and I think it happened for other of the monks also. Yeah, if I don't recall wrongly. Yeah. So then there's the other angle, which is in general, there are actually quite a lot of rules pertaining to sickness. Yeah, and the general rule is, if a person is sick, then this is about monastic rule. That in general, if a person is sick, the person should go and seek medical attention. Yeah. Then further, after seeking medical attention, if given prescription, you should take the prescription. If you don't go and see doctor, you don't go and take prescription, it is a wrongdoing. Yeah. So what does this tell us? Yeah, what does this tell us? When it comes to maybe a third thing, but then when it comes to mental affliction, that means the bodily discomfort versus mental discomfort, yeah, bodily suffering versus mental suffering. When it comes to mental suffering, then the Buddha give antidote, yeah, on how to overcome it. Yeah, but bodily one, the Buddha, I don't see any evidence besides the first case where he said there's a case where just focusing the mind on the recitation of some of the verses, the bodily formations was tranquilized. Yeah, become more at ease. Yeah, and that has some prerequisite also. And the requisite is that the person connects strongly with the teachings. Yeah, if you don't connect strongly with teaching, maybe it doesn't work. So what does that tell us? So in general, even for bodily, even for the monks in those days, yeah, and nuns, the Buddha don't say, oh, you fall sick, never practice mindfulness, why pain, see doctor, all of you queuing up, see doctor for what, never 念大悲咒, must never do your homework, right? Why pain? Mindfulness of the pain, go and be mindful. No, the Buddha, you think about it, right? So sometimes, so we need, this is a good question. When it comes to physical discomfort, there are two parts also, to be clear. There are two parts, because sickness is not just about the pain. Yeah, sickness, there's the life-threatening part also. So you must go and seek medical treatment to remove the life-threatening part. But then as far as the pain part is concerned, some medication can remove it, some cannot. And at the end of the day, when it still cannot, then how? Really have to be mindful. Yeah, because how about the case where there was widespread famine, and the monks, when they go for alms, they come back empty bowl. So they had to experience hunger. And then sometimes there's widespread dysentery. It's basically stomach flu, all those problems. And then severe sharp-racking pain. The translation is sharp-racking pains, coursing through the bowels. Yeah. So when that happens, they also have to either they seek treatment, but then last time I think the what you call it, painkiller is not so not so advanced also. Yeah, so nothing wrong with taking painkillers or and so on. Yeah. There was one period of time, wow, I had very severe headache. So severe that during one of the retreat, yeah, if I didn't tell the students, I think they didn't know. Until I was like, oh, really cannot. the pull all the way from the back, all the way up here. Oh. So luckily, one of the student is a doctor. Yeah. So then another student has some special painkiller. Yeah. And then he examined it. He said, "Oh, this one is very, very strong one. You just take one should be enough." Yeah. Oh, yeah. So very good point. When it comes to physical pain, nothing wrong with taking medication. Nothing wrong with taking medication. Yeah. But if it's not too severe, good opportunity to also go and observe it. Yeah. Okay. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always, okay. Have a selfless day ahead. Okay. Take care. Bye bye. Stay safe.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Shifu.
Bye.